Hare Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadharo Sivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Mugakaroti Vachalam Pangulangayati Girim Yatkipatamahang Bande Sigurum Dinatarinam Paramanandamadhavam Sri Chaitanyeshwaram. So I want to welcome you to the Congregational Preaching Seminar. And actually there's so many different areas that we want to cover. And this year I'd like to do some more innovative things and actually have some special sessions where the different leaders who are active in congregational preaching from different parts of the world can have like some brainstorming sessions where we discuss on different principles. But we did that with the GBC body, and we covered, it was very interesting, some of the things that came up. So taking the inspiration from what the inputs were from the GBC body and during these seminars, we can continue on with the actual devotees who have been active in congregational preaching and other devotees. So the basic format we will follow is that some days will be, we like to hear from the different devotees who are preaching in different parts of the world and to hear what their situation is, how they're developing congregational preaching in their area, maybe what were the obstacles they had to face in the beginning. You got a Hare Krishna? A tape recorder? Okay. What are their goals? What are the present highlights, successes that they've achieved? Because one of the things that we're realizing is that in this area it's very important for people to hear and to know what the successes are. And then if there are obstacles that other people can relate, oh, we have the same problem, and then how those were solved. So the results of this seminar is going to be that we'll put this in one of our newsletters. I'm supposed to put out at least 2 newsletters this year, according to the request of the GBC body. And what the inputs are from the seminar, that'll be the highlight of one of the newsletters. Also like to, you can put that so the sun doesn't go on people. We could also discuss, there's been several GBC resolutions this year about congregational preaching. One is that there's, I didn't see the final vote, but I think that they voted to have a minister. I'm supposed to be the minister of congregational preaching. If not, I'm still the monitor, I don't know. In any case, how to, during the year, how we can have a better communication, how we can network in a better way. That'll be one of the things I'd like to discuss near the end. Then another thing we like to go over is some of the presentations on how congregational preaching details and how it could be developed. Some of the findings that from discussing, try to glean out the essence after hearing many different devotees' realizations, my own realizations, and then discussing with other experts in the field like Sridhar Maharaj and Naveen Krishna Prabhu. So we came to some principles on how congregational preaching can be developed, how it relates with other activities. Then another aspect is the history or heritage. What did the previous acharyas say about congregational preaching or about Namhat, and specifically what did Srila Prabhupada say regarding people being devotees who are living in their homes, things like that. What are the successes we're achieving here in India? What's happening in India in this field? So these are the general, it's like a general overview of the different things we like to cover during these seminars. I'm not going to be the only speaker, I hope. Already Sachinanand Maharaj said he would, when he gets back from Ekachakra, he would come and speak. And then we're also, when we hear from Kripamoy Prabhu, I'd like to know what are the other devotees who are coming from different parts of the world who have something to say about, so that I can kind of schedule it better. Maybe we can just hand a paper around for people to sign. Last year, just to give you an idea, we had Krishna Chaitanya from the UK. He was representing. He said he apologized. He's not as he felt it would be better if Kripamoy was here. But he's here this year. But last year he gave some introduction. Juan Peter Vaz Das from France, from Malaysia, Madhu Savita from Italy, from Poland. We got a presentation from Vancouver, from St. Petersburg, Russia, from Abhiram Prabhu, and then from South Africa. We got a very inspiring presentation. That was last year. And from some of these presentations, we got some very important ideas, which have become the basis for many of the new concepts. Because in congregational development, for the Western world, this is like a new field because we've concentrated on only making devotees in the temple. So everyone wants to know what's the procedure, what is the essence. So when we get hear the different presentations from the different devotees, you get so many ideas just by hearing how they're preaching. And then from that, you can get the basic principles which devotees all over the world could employ in their own preaching. So I just wanted to highlight that it's very important. We hope that anybody that has something to say, we'd like to hear from them, because it has proved very, very helpful to get the ideas from the different devotees. Even Abhiram Prabhu, who was a member of the congregation, at the same time a very senior Prabhupada disciple, he gave some very important points from his perspective. So I'm gonna, since last year I didn't have a newsletter, I'm gonna put all last year's notes and this year's notes together, whatever is new and unique. So that's basically an overview. Have any of you ever seen this book, Godram Kalpatavi? of the GBC members asked that whether Namahata was a word that Prabhupada had ever used, or whether Prabhupada had approved of it. So this, this little book is 5 articles published by Bhaktivinoda Thakur out of many articles on the Namhat, which we haven't found the other articles yet, but we're going to research on that. But these 5 were published in a magazine called Jayapataka. When Prabhupada was a Vanaprastha, and the Devananda Gaudiya Math under Keshav Maharaj, he was there for some time in the biography, you'll see. That time he was the president of that Patrika. He was like the president editor. And it says there, Bhakti Vedanta. It wasn't Swami then, it was Abhay Charan Bhakti Vedanta. So then he was the editor or president of the magazine, and this was published at that time under his presidentship. So, and here it repeatedly talks specifically the word Namahat. I had asked Srila Prabhupada here in 1977 when Mayapur was attacked by some villagers from another religion. At that time, we had a counter demonstration with 25,000 villagers from following Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we went on a big procession through all the villages, like a kind of a peace march. With everybody had a lot of sticks with flags on it and things. It's very peaceful. There was nobody said, it was very peacefully performed. But there was like 168 kirtan groups, and I could see that in India, there's so many kirtan groups, but you don't know that in every village we went through, on the parikram, there's a kirtan group. So how to unite all these kirtan groups, how to get them to have the proper standard, how to develop them. So I talked to Prabhupada about it when I saw that there was a great potential that we weren't developing. That isn't there some way we could make an organization within ISKCON for preaching to all these villagers, or to preaching to all the people. And then Srila Prabhupada told me, at that time I had an idea, ISKCON Sankirtan organization, or something, I didn't know what to call it, Isho. And Prabhupada said, yes, that's all right. And he told me that you should bring them here to Mayapur and have them stay for some days, see how we do arti, see how we do everything, give them association, train them up, and then send them back to their own places for preaching themselves, that they should preach. And then you can supervise them and everything. So he gave it like a instruction like that. But then I was like still bewildered because exactly how to do it. And then Bhakti Maharaj gave me this. He said that he knew I was considering how to do the preaching, congregational preaching at that time in India. And he gave me these articles when he was doing some research work. He came across them in the Gaudiya Patrika and said, hey, this is pretty interesting, and Prabhupada was the editor at that time. And then I took it like a gift from Prabhupada, because when I read this, and I got a very clear idea of some basic principles that Bhaktivinoda Thakur was, what was the Namhat, what was the basic idea behind it. And it seemed like it was coming right from Prabhupada, because soon after I got the instruction from Prabhupada, he left the world, and then I didn't really know how to do it. And instead of giving some kind of concocted name like Isho, why not use the name that was Bhaktivinoda Thakur given? And so I we used the name Namhat, which is the marketplace of the holy name. Actually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur called the Namhatas as Prapanna Ashrams, or places, little ashrams where people learn to surrender to Krishna. Prapanna means the process of surrendering. So the idea of the Namhata is actually that people are supposed to learn how to do devotional service, learn how to surrender to Krishna. And he considered the families that were Krishna conscious, or trying to be Krishna conscious, that those families or those houses were called Shraddha Kutis, or homes of faith. So, it's interesting, Namhata, he presented it like as a wonderful way of, it's almost, I don't want to say a game, but it means they presented it like in a very allegorical way, how here you have a marketplace. In a marketplace you need big capitalist principal traders, so that's Lord Nityananda. You need something to sell, that's the holy name. The different qualities of the holy name depending how much faith you have. Then you have to have something to buy the product with. You need money. So the money is your devotion, your faith. Then you need within not only the trader, but he's got people that weigh the goods out and take it off the shelf, to deliver it. Some people are like stockists, and then there's other retailers and traveling salesmen and so on. So he created this whole, from this allegory, he went in great detail, even to the point that in a marketplace you're going to have barbers, laundrymen, you're going to have, you're going to get your shoes shined, everything. And then some people said, isn't it taking it too far? I mean, in the spiritual movement, why do you want to have a barber? There's a guy who's cutting people's dirty hair. Why do you want a laundryman? A guy who's dealing with dirty clothes. I mean, I could understand the other things, but it seems like you're taking the allegory too far. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur defended it. No. Laundryman and the barber, these are important people. They're the people that when people have bad association and they get spiritual contamination, this is like someone that just by associating with dirt, you get dirty clothes, you take your clothes to the laundryman, he cleans you up. In the Namhat marketplace, the laundryman, someone that goes and can pure, he's such a nice preacher, he can save somebody from some contamination that he got, and cleans his consciousness and bring him in the proper path. And the barber is even heavier. It's like when somebody's really overgrown and he's got a big growth of beard or something, or the hair is all disheveled. Then you go to the barber, and the barber cleans everything up and makes you look nice and gentle. And so Bhakti Vinod Thakur said, this is like when somebody's really fallen into Maya, then you need someone to go and clean them up and bring them back. So he continued to use this allegory of the Namhat in presenting his concepts. And he took for himself the position of a sweeper of the Namhat. And he used the idea of sweeper, that the sweeper goes to the market and he cleans up all the dirt, keeps it all, neat and tidy. At the same time, he gives all the little scraps of paper here and there that fall around, and then actually he reads that and he gets all the little secret information, what's going on in the market, that nobody else gets. So then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said, so I get the news, what's happening everywhere, I get all the dirt, and I clean it up. So as the Acharya, he took the role of a sweeper. Very humble role, but actually the most glorious role, keeping everything clean in the market, in the preaching field. So of course in ISKCON we had so many persons who are assisting in the sweeping. And that's a very important thing in congregational preaching, because in a temple it's a very controlled situation, it's a very controlled environment. And then you can see every day, 24 hours a day more, well not maybe 24, but say quite a number of hours a day, the devotees in the temple are under observation. Even they go on Sankirtan, they may have partners or something. In congregational preaching, you may not see someone only once a week or once a month. So then you don't know all the time what they're doing by personal observation, but through hearing from other devotees, for seeing their consciousness, from little bits and pieces of information. You put together what's happening, and then you have to keep everything clean. You have to see that if anybody's getting disenchanted with Krishna consciousness, getting affected by some preaching from some other philosophy or something, then you have to keep them straightened out. You have to keep them in the proper path. So these are like principles that 100 years ago during the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, or whether, right now in 1993, 507 Gaurabda, they're the same principles. The things haven't changed as far as the principles are concerned. Bhaktivinoda Thakur may have been walking through the Gaur-Mandal Bhumi, or going by palanquin, or going by horse and buggy, and we may be going around by jets or by, different automobiles and things, whatever it might be. Although some of our Namhat preachers in India are still going around by bus and bicycle. But the principles are the same. The basic principles are the same, and if we understand principles, like recently when we were writing the book for puja, one of the points came up that if we can present the principles first, if somebody understands principle, you can apply those to any circumstance. So first the idea is to present principle, and then after that we present how it's been applied. So today in the heritage of Namhat, we'll just go over a few basic principles that were handed down from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And then we can see that how these principles, even in the modern day, a modern context, you can see how the same principles are still there. One of the big questions that people keep asking is, how does a Namhat relate to a temple? Was the very first principle that Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned. I got strapped in here, but I wanted to walk with the mic. Unless you want to carry it around. He said first you have the wrong one.
Here.
Better wipe it off quick so you can stay. Wipe this on. This one. He said you have the Dhams. The Dhams has so many temples. The holy Dhams has so many different temples. We can see that just like today, there's 4 or 5 seminars going on. Devotees are coming from all over the world. We went on Navadip Parikram with 1,100 devotees, people from everywhere. And there's not only our ISKCON society, so many societies will be having parikrams and festivals. So the Holy Dham is a place where there's many festivals, many temples. So he compared that to like a big metropolitan area where you go, just like if you want to buy something, sometimes people go to London or New York or to the big city, like in India, go to Calcutta, Bombay, Delhi, then you can buy almost everything. But if you want to go to get the things in Navadip or Krishnagar, there may be many things you can't buy. So the marketplace, he said, the Dhams are like the major commercial centers. You can get all kinds of mercy. You can get unlimited mercy. Here people are associating, there were 37 sannyasis, GBCs, senior Prabhupada disciples that were actively on the parikram. But in most temples you're not going to get that many in one place at one time. So the Dham is a very special place where you get a lot of association, you can hear a lot of different classes. Then he said, then you have like your temples. In a temple usually you have some senior Vaishnavas, you have some regular deity worship, maybe you have some dedicated book distributors. For temples are kind of an ISKCON, can go anywhere from a preaching center to a Mahal large temple, so kind of take in the middle and up. A relatively large temple has got certain facilities. People go there and learn deity worship. There's a regular daily program, sadhana, everything. They can go and stay for a weekend. So temples, they could be compared to the smaller commercial center like a town, or like even say in the West you've got like a supermarket. They have the big supermarket. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he brought this point out. You have your Namhata group. Of course, we say Namhata group, but in a sense, Namhata means the whole thing. It was his whole concept. But his Namhata Prapan Ashram, or the Namhata group, which is the basic unit, he considered that, well, apart from families, this was the basic preaching unit. This is like compared to like a small grocery store, like you get a corner store, 7-Eleven, something you just go and you can get basic things you need, you know. People go to get a pound of sugar or some juice or something. You're not going to get everything, but you can get the basic things, the emergency things you need. So, some of these Namhats, of course, develop very, very much to very big. Some of the Namhats develop into having facilities very close or similar to temple facilities. Let's say the average may be that they meet once a week. They meet a couple times a week. They get together. They have gradually some Vaishnavas visit them initially very regularly. Sometimes they get they get stronger. They have leading devotees and they can keep it very regularly. Of course, everybody, even temples, they all want sannyasis and senior devotees, preachers to visit them. So you have this concept of a big metropolitan area, a major commercial center or establishment, and then a basic facility of a basic preaching unit. So this principle that Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave, we can apply that, you know, throughout the world even today. Everywhere, only dhams are holy dham. You have Vrindavan and Mayapur and Jagannath Puri and places like that. So that's already established by Krishna. Temples are established. We have 300 temples, but how many cities are there in the world? There's no limit to, in the future there'll be so many temples. But initially, it's not every place that you can have a temple. Because temples mean establishment, overhead, but a Namhat can be produced everywhere. Like I hope we can get a presentation from the Indonesian leader Gormando Bumi. Like their movement was banned by a quirk of fate or something, by some demonic person, even gave some, anyway, somehow or another the Hare Krishna official ISKCON was banned there, but they had hundreds of devotees, so they had to go underground and they had to just meet together like Namhat groups. And by doing that, they had literally many, many Namhat groups all over the place, in Bali and different places where they're meeting together. And maybe a couple underground temples are there too, but mainly it's Namhat type of group. So it's like, it was like, you had no choice, because you couldn't have an official public temple because the government had put a ban, because the government was mainly Mohammedan, and some, like in the time of Lord Chaitanya, the Hindu caste Brahmanas went to Chandkazi and complained. The Lord Chaitanya went there and straightened them out. In this case, they complained to the Mohammedans, and then like Chandkazi also banned them, but so far we're waiting for Lord Chaitanya's mercy to straighten it out there. But they had been expanding the Namhat organically. It wasn't even planned. It just works out. So this is a very organic way of preaching. And that's one of the principles that Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave. It's in the Soviet Union, they have 60 centers, but most of the centers were originally like Namhats. And they just gradually, the devotees became so-called full-time fixed in their service, and gave up other engagements, so it became preaching centers. So that's one of the basic heritage. Is this concept of covering all the different areas through the different facilities. Like you're not going to have a supermarket in every corner, but you have a corner grocery store everywhere. So we may not have a big temple everywhere, but wherever we don't have a big temple, we can definitely have a Namhat. He's our co-director, for a regional director of Namhat for Bengal and Orissa, and they're also overseeing activities in Assam, Tripura. Gauranga Prem is the other co-director. You met him also, and they're active in the Parikrama. This is Bhadrachara Das, Brahmachari. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Dishta Avtare Srimati Jayapataka Krishna Panchana Kalpatri Mudhistika Pashan Gopiyai Vacha Patitanam Sadanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So I may not be able to tell you everything systematically. Especially I have a very poor amount of knowledge in English. Please forgive me. So just I tell you about our setup here in Mayapur. So right now we have 42 devotees in Namhota department. Actually this 42 devotees is very less according to our requirements. So if we have 100 devotees right now, we'll be very happy to take them. But when we get some devotees also, right now we have some problem. We have no place to stay in Namhata. So we are not worried so much about their maintenance, but we are very much worried about their accommodations. There is no place practically. And there are 8 groups right now, and each group there are 2 devotees or 3 devotees or 4 devotees sometimes. And these 8 groups are responsible. Each group is responsible for supervising the Namhata centers in 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 districts. Depends how many Namhata centers are there in each district. Suppose the Namhata centers are more in one district, then the group will take only one district. But generally, because we have very less groups, so each group are taking care of 2 or more than 2 districts. And apart from that also, we have an office setup. We have about 7 to 8 devotees. Those who are always staying in office. They are responsible for correspondence, taking care of the guests, and office activities, and printing, publications, and things like that. Also, we are printing a newsletter in collaboration with DVT's Sankirtan Samachar, Hare Krishna Sankirtan Samachar. Apart from that, for the last 1.5 years or more than that, we have formed a festival party in Namhata, and we are about 25 devotees. And in this festival party, we are organizing Harinam, and in the evening, a very big pandal program. And on the stage, there is bhajan, kirtan, lectures, Sandhya Arati, drama, and cinema, photo exhibitions. And also now we are holding examinations just to introduce Prabhupada among the students, among the young people, or anyone who is interested. So in photo exhibitions, all the details about the life history of Srila Prabhupada are given. So they read it very carefully. Then they will give them the question paper. When they fill it up, or they give the answers. And whoever secures marks more than 60% or 40%, something like that minimum. And we give them Prabhupada's photo, locket, or some gifts like that. And the drama group, there are 10 players, those who play. Most of you have seen our drama in Parikrama, and we are having also drama here in Mayapur. And about 5 to 6 musicians are there, those who play clarinet, flutes, play drums, and things like that. And for the cinema, stage, lighting, and lighting, we have about 3 to 4 devotees. And we have all the equipments with us, light, mic, sound system, everything. Also the dresses, costumes, everything. Yeah. And apart from that also there are 3 devotees, those who always go for cooking, because that is required.
And in this way there are 25 devotees. But when we do the Pendal program, we take another 25 devotees from the temple side. From Mayapur side, we would take about 20, 25, 30 devotees. So when we do the continuous preaching program, it's like last year, we did 150 programs in a year. And when we do such big Pendal programs, the minimum 50 devotees are there. And according to the devotees, we have also transportation, buses, trucks, lorries, and advance party like that. So in each program, we have about, say, minimum 5,000 people to 15,000 people. So average 7,000 people, we can say. So altogether in 150 programs, 10.5 lakh people actually they participated in our programs. 10, in 1 year, 10.5 lakh people. And how we do this Pendal program? Well, every day, today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, day after that, every day continuously these programs are there. This year we could not do in the month of December because all our devotees, they were busy for marathon, distributing books, organizing the book distribution. And but the last year we did continuously 90 days program, continuously without any fail. And coming year also, we'll be also doing program in during marathon time. Marathon will be going on and the program will be also going on, both. So we will not, this Pendal program is also coming under the marathon group. And how we do it, how is it possible? If we do ourselves, it is impossible. If we do ourselves here, well, whatever we do here in Mayapur, we do ourselves. Although everything is here, and all the facilities are here, and we are the residents of Mayapur, it's very, very difficult to organize even a small program among ourselves. So when we are doing program, it's not that we only do the program, but the preparations of the program are done by the public, or by our organizers, our Namutta group. And previously, of course, our devotees, they go and contact them at what time we are going to their places. And accordingly, they form a committee, and in the committee, they are responsible for arranging funds, arranging accommodations for the devotees, also erecting pandals, erecting stages, publicity, our prasadam, and on top of that, they give a donation for 1,000 rupees as a minimum donation. And if the party is really strong, they also give the diesel, fuel for our vehicles. So we can see that in each program, the organizers, they'll have to minimum they'll have to spend 10,000 rupees. Minimum. Without 10,000 rupees, they cannot make a program. I mean, such a big program, of course. And we see that 10,000 to 25,000 rupees they spend in each program. So average 15,000 rupees we can say. So if it is 15,000 rupees also, if we would have done ourselves, then we would have to spend, say, 23 lakhs rupees in a year. So that money we have got from the public. Of course, not in the form of the money, Lakshmi, but in the form of the pandal, light, mic, generator, stages, publicity, accommodation, prasadam, of course, little donation, and fuel, like that. And not only the money, 100, say 50, 100, or many people are involved also. They are doing program, and they are going out and convincing people to come to the program. And they take the whole headache, security, everything they take. And we just go and do the program. And of course, because it is a festival, how can it be a festival without feast? They, they feed the devotees very nicely, everywhere. So the devotees, they become very happy.
Even when you prepare the sample of Namhat feast.
So then you have to come to the program.
How was it?
So we also try, we are always encouraging the foreign devotees to come with us, because the people, they want to see you, they want to hear you more, and what they expect from us.
And if you go, you have to also take the feast.
There's only one austerity in the world festival, the leader to take feast every day more than one time. And this is the festival program. We have one big bus, 30 seated bus, which has faced an accident a few months back. It is in the garage, they're going to repair it. Then also sometimes we are hiring buses, or with the collaboration or with the cooperation of the temple authorities like Calcutta and Mayapur. Sometimes we take the Sankirtan bus and we go for the program. And apart from that, we are organizing training camps for the Namato groups, because as we have heard before from the Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, that we have very limited devotees, and the devotees cannot go to every place and train them properly. And that is the main thing. We are practically losing many of the Namato groups. So what we do is, in a year, there are different opportunities so that everybody can get together. So in the rainy season in India, it is very difficult to go to the village area. Sometimes this much of mud, you're feeling your feet, the whole leg up this point will go inside the mud. It's very difficult to walk, and it will be in ecstasy, you'll be falling down again and again while you're walking on the road, the village road. So it's very difficult to go. Also the raining, always raining, and the rivers and the floods. So all these problems are there in India, especially Bengal, because Bengal is full of rivers and all. So in the rainy season, we do some indoor programs. So maybe we take a school hall or a big house where mainly the organizers, the secretaries, the president, the cashiers, mainly the organizers, they come and join this program. And whoever is really interested in management or very active devotees of Namata, they come together, and we hold 3 days training camps. That means the full morning program and evening program. We hold seminars on book distribution, seminars on philosophy, seminars on organizations. We have mainly philosophical seminars and organizational seminars, 2 categories. And we do also teaching program in the evening sometime. That is one of the training camp. One of the program, we hold training camps in each district. Sometimes 2 to 3 districts in one place. Just like here in Mayapur, we have also 3 days training camp. And Nadia, Murshidabad, and nearby districts, they come here and join in training camp program. Then apart from that, the devotees are like the reserve force of ISKCON festivals. So in that way also we spend more time here in the temple, because we otherwise will not get any cooperation from the temple side. Just like these festivals, practically 1 month time we are giving for this Guru Purnima and Navadip Mandala Parikrama festival, preparations and all. So otherwise we could do also more programs outside Mayapur. But anyway, we are doing some programs during the Navadip Mandala Parikrama and all. Then ISKCON Ratha Yatras, we join. Some of the devotees they join in Siliguri, some of the devotees they join in Calcutta, and this year most of the devotees we joined in Puri, and we were the most attractive group in Jagannath Puri Ratha Yatra. The king came with us, and 5 hours we were on the television in Orissa. Most of the time, in every few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, they used to show us. We were inside the police cordon, the forces were around us, giving us protections. Then in that way, most of these festivals also we have to participate, because the temple they need some type of manpower. It's like the whole parikrama. You can say 90% services were performed by the Namata groups, like the arranging the places and putting up the tents and bhajans and dramas and prasad service and different things. Then also here, Janmashtami and some other festivals we have to take part. So in that way, you can see that by the mercy of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga, the Namata devotees are fully 100% they are engaged in Christmas service. And I was also telling, as far as the book distribution is concerned, many devotees, they are very proud because they send few book distributors for distributing books. And you just imagine, this year we were discussing with Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj, if one book distributor will go, how many books he can distribute in one day? But if we give one or two devotees for 1 or 2 to 3 districts, and that 2 devotees will organize the book distribution in such a way, that means they will have 200 book distributors under them. And 200 book distributors will be distributing books on behalf of these 2 devotees or 1 devotee. So that means the book distribution result will be achieving multiplied into 200. Suppose if a book distributor is distributing 10 books or 10 Gita a day, and if the same book distributor is engaged in Namota preaching and organizing book distribution and Namota program, that means 200 into 10. How many? 2,000 book distribution. 2,000 Gita will go in one day. But so far this truth is not realized by many of our leaders, temple presidents and all. But this can be possible. And how we become fast? Of course, we consider that our Guru Maharaj is also Namota devotee, so the credit goes to the Namota movement. And second, the Namota devotees, Jugal and different devotees. So we are requesting, and also we are trying to convince our temple presidents and leaders of ISKCON that okay, book distribution will be more. We have to see that who is distributing book or who is not. That is not a main thing. How many books are distributed? How many books are distributed under one person? That is most important. If we can engage many people for book distribution, then what is the point of simply taking a book bag on our shoulder and going? That also we can do. That is important. But at the same time, if we can organize book distribution among the hundreds of people, then it is we can get more fruits. We can get more result. So we can see that in near future, also in coming year, we are not going to step down our position. We will be going up. Now we have got the more test by the mercy of Jayapataka. These are some of the programs, and if you have any question, we are also printing a newsletter. And now,
How often you print a newsletter?
the newsletter in Bengali every 15 days. Hare Krishna Sankirtan Samachar. So twice a week, but we were discussing that will be twice a month, and we were discussing that this will be printed very soon, once a week. Yes. And but one thing we are lacking, that our devotees, most of us, we do not know English, and we are not very expert in putting it in English. So sometimes we find difficulties also to produce our GBC report in English form. That is our drawback. Otherwise, there are a lot of inputs, a lot of things have to be printed, and every one of you will be definitely encouraged. And if there will be a system where our Namata preaching report and your Namata preaching report, if everything can be together and it can be printed in a magazine, then everybody will be encouraged. So we have different inputs, so we are requesting, especially those who can help us in printing newsletters. The finances will be taken care by us, but the editing and writing and different, we will be giving the inputs and of course the raw materials. But one has to put it together in English and print it. So we want some volunteers to help us. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Oh, one thing we forgot. And now also we have adopted one program in campus preaching that mainly the Namota people with this. Now we have a Right now it is not going on because a lot of people are not here and we were outside also. But just few days back, for 2 months, December and January, we did this campus preaching program. And in campus preaching program, say it is a daytime program actually. So say from 11:30 up to 4 o'clock, we are having little bhajans and questions and answer programs. Many visitors, they come to Mayapur and they see that everyone is busy. And if they have a question, whom they will ask? Everyone is running here and there because they are busy. And if they ask, they do not know whom to ask also. Sometimes they may be asking a new devotee who is really stressed out. He may not be able to give a good answer. You see. So then they do not know whom to ask, and if they ask also, they cannot give the answer because they are busy. So now we have a very nice system that some devotees will be sitting daytime, say from right now we were doing from 11:30 up to 4 o'clock in the evening, afternoon, and we'll be inviting people. And this canopy, this samayana is meant for that. There are 4 of these. Sit under this samayana, and they write questions in a paper and they give to us. And some devotees like Subhag Maharaj, myself, sometimes Guru Maharaj, and mostly our girl sister Chaitanya Rupa Devi Dasi was sitting there and giving very nice answers. And in that way, we have few thousand questions. Few thousand questions were answered every day I tell you 30, 35 to 50, 60 questions we were answering. And the very nice questions. So some of you also will be organizing during our festival, you can come and sit and answer the questions of the public those who are visiting Mayapur. And we wanted to continue this program, question and answer program, and daytime also some type of drama will be there. If we get the auditorium, most of the facilities right now we are not getting. To get the Prabhupada auditorium for the daytime, and mainly here the visitors of Mayapur, they come here near about 10:30, and they leave 3:30, 4 o'clock. And because they have to go away, there is no place to stay for them, including population. So, yeah. So we have also interested to do drama program in daytime. Hare Krishna.
So actually this is just a very brief overview. Later if you have more questions, and this you can also write if you have any questions. There's actually so much more detail that could be given, but you can probably concentrate more on the Western preaching because that may be a more use for everybody. But actually, it's like any questions that you have, like what is it Ramhat group do, or any detailed questions, we can also answer them. In conclusion, I'd like to just read this quote from Srila Prabhupada. The best process for making the home pleasant is Krishna consciousness. If one is in full Krishna consciousness, he can make his home very happy. Because this process of Krishna consciousness is very easy. One need only chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Accept the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. Have some discussion on books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and engage oneself in deity worship. These 4 things will make one very happy. One should train the members of his family in this way. The family members can sit down morning and evening and chant together Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. If one can mold his family life in this way to develop Krishna consciousness, following these 4 principles, then there is no need to change from family life to renounced life. But if it is not congenial, not favorable for spiritual advancement, then family life should be abandoned. Srila Prabhupada here, and many other quotations, he said how people should practice Krishna consciousness in their home. This is the heritage that has been handed down. Srila Prabhupada himself was born in a Krishna conscious family. He mentioned that I have shown in coming, our house was just behind the present Govinda Bhavan. We had the opportunity of seeing this Radha Govinda from very childhood. When I was 3 or 4 years old, I used to visit this Radha Govinda daily. Jai Radha Govinda, Jai Prabhupada, Pusta Krishna said. And Prabhupada said, and that is the inspiration of my devotional life. Then I asked my father that give me Radha Govinda deity I shall worship. So my father was also Vaishnava. He gave me small Radha Govinda deity. I was worshipping in my house. Whatever I was eating, I was offering, and I was following the ceremonies of this Radha Govinda with my small deity. So we want people to get liberated. We want them to bring up their children in Krishna consciousness. We want to follow the procedures that were given to us by the previous acharyas, and in this way see that everybody is liberated, everyone is given pure Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.